What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Kristian Harloff Show. I am John Rocha. Don't adjust your sets. That's right. On today's show, we have the first reaction to Thunderbolts. There were a lot of screenings last night for people to see all across the country. I don't know if they did it internationally. So we're going to hear from people who went to see it, got a chance to go see it, and their thoughts on it. And how the new Marvel movie lands with the people who saw it. Also, there was a Wednesday season 2 teaser trailer that dropped this morning. Little plug, I did a reaction for it. So if you want to go there after the show, be great. Also, Andor dropped its first 3 episodes last night. Season 2 dropped its first 3 episodes last night. And Coogler talks Sinner's success and Michael B. Jordan's comments as well, and more. And of course, all your questions today on the Kristian Harloff Show with myself and the great Roxy Striar. So let's not dilly-dally any longer. Let's get into this thing. Here we go. Yeah, it's me. It's the Outlaw John Rocha sitting in for the head boss there, Kristian Harloff. Excited to talk about all those topics with Marvel, Last of Us, Andor, Sinners. So much to get into here. Now, of course, all your questions that you want to ask about it. Look, you don't want to look at my pretty face. You want to look at another pretty face, and she's incredibly intelligent, on top of things, a great pundit. You see her all over the place. And not only that, she's acting in all over Europe. It's incredible. Shout out to the great Roxy Striar who's joining me. How are you, Roxy?
We're a little bit of R&R today.
What, I say that again. What does that mean?
Rocha and Roxy.
Oh, yeah.
R&R. We're bringing some R&R to your screen.
I feel like Roxy and Rocha is the better mix, but yes. Okay, fine. I'll take it. How are you? How are things?
It goes alphabetically, and you and I have such a we got the same 2 letters, but then you got the C, I got the X, so we got to go Rocha Roxy.
That makes sense. That makes good to know. I should have known that when I was dealing with that. How are you? How are things? What's going on in your world? It's been a week, right?
See you. I know. It's so crazy. Thank you for letting Rocha and I use this as our catch-up 2 hours.
Absolutely. Yes.
I was here yesterday, so the people saw me then.
Okay.
And since I left here yesterday, I did watch the first 3 episodes of Andor. Did you get the entire drop, or are you 3?
I did, yeah. I spent yesterday watching all 12 episodes. I started at 8 a.m., finished right before 6 when it ended. So, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was. I told my lady outlaw, I was like, honey, I will maybe be able to talk a couple of times, but it's just watching the show, using the bathroom, showering, and right back to the show. So this is my life, and eating. This is my life all day today. So yeah, I watched it.
Which episodes did you need to shower between?
Right between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right between 6 and the start of the next 6.
Okay.
So I got to about 12:30, 12:45. I was like, okay, cool. I can use the restroom, shower, order my food, and then by 1 o'clock go right back into the next 6 episodes, and got it done barely in time. Yeah.
3 episodes was too many for me.
Okay, let's talk about it. Why?
Man, I don't want to get. I'm the only person I know who didn't write home about the first season of Andor.
Okay.
If you don't watch the Tuesday Kristian Harloff Show, then you might not know. I watch 120 shows minimum a year. So I watch more television than anybody I know, maybe tied with Josh McCouga pre-having kids, but not now, So I watch so much television.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm rating this as a TV show, not as a Star Wars property. I am a Star Wars novice. I am not a I've seen every Star Wars movie. I've seen the live action shows, but I'm not like these people who know every, I'm not a Christian. I don't know that much about Star Wars. I've just seen them as a casual fan. So this, to me, I'm thinking, how is it as a TV show? Not how is this as a Star Wars property?
Right.
And so the first season, everybody was like religious about it. I mean, at the time I was hosting World Girls with Doreen and Steph. Every week they were like, this is the greatest ever, best show ever. And I was like, it's good. I think it's good. I think it's a good, totally good show.
Right.
And so Kristian warned me. He warned me yesterday.
Oh.
The first 3 episodes, I don't think you're going to be stoked on. But then after that, I think you're going to be excited. And I hope that that's true. I hope that after that, I am excited. This show is absolutely, totally adequate. Like it is not a bad show. Everything looks amazing, sounds amazing. The performances are great. So that alone gives it a bare minimum. It's good.
Yeah.
I just don't care about the stories at all.
Wow.
So far in season 2, I don't care. There's so many people. I don't know you guys. I don't know you guys. I don't know how this affects the future of Star. I think that if I understood how this connected to Rogue One, if I remembered Rogue One at all, maybe the stakes would be higher for me.
Right.
But I'm watching this and I'm like, this is fine. This looks good. Episode 3 started to pick up for me. But I even have qualms with that, which we'll get into. Those are my general thoughts on the first 3 episodes. I hope you loved it, because otherwise I feel like people are going to turn us off.
No, I absolutely loved it. And I tweeted it out yesterday, or X'd it out, whatever people say. I posted it out yesterday, my thoughts on it. I thought the entire season was incredible. I did enjoy the first 3 episodes because I like these characters and I like the kind of gutsiness of the show to show you what a fascist dictatorship would actually look like. You know, the thing we love in Star Wars is the Empire. We like to, quietly cheer for Vader or loudly cheer for Vader, even though he's killed like billions of people. And he's been a pretty evil, killing those kids in the prequel series, but still people have a love for some of the villains in the Star Wars universe. Well, this show kind of strips all of that away and goes, this is what it actually would be like if an empire was in control of all these planets, could go into a planet and without impunity sexually assault its citizens whenever the hell they felt like it, shut down communication so no one can know what's going on your planet. These little things that they were showing throughout the first 3 episodes, I thought were really interesting. And then on the other side, you had the stuff with Cassian being stuck on the planet with these 2 warring gangs, whatever they are, fighting amongst each other, showing you that, no progress is made when two sides keep fighting each other, and eventually the person you caught escapes. And so there's a lot of that the commentary going throughout for me that I enjoyed. And by the 3rd episode, you get to see this unique and interesting relationship where it's a man who is essentially in service to his wife or his girlfriend, I guess being moved on from his mom, who is passive aggressively controlling him. So I thought that was interesting real world stuff combined with Star Wars things like Gorman and Owen Krennic and all of that. So for me,
I don't even know what you just said.
Yeah, I know. For me, it mixes in.
That's my reality, is that when I'm watching this, I'm a little frustrated because they keep doing these references, and then I'll see online people are like, oh, and I was like, what? And I get it's good to reward the diehards. That's who you should be rewarding. Sure. I'm all for that. I've never felt so out of the loop ever. As a nerd. This just isn't my nerddom, even though I really like Star Wars. I'm like, who are you guys talking about? And I pause, Google, and I'm like, have I seen this person before? Like, and to your point, John, I think if it wasn't for the fact that I'm watching that all of the time, and for me, better, like Handmaid's Tale is telling that story, but I think better. For me,
right.
Silo, Severance. I mean, we work with a lot of fascist regimes, or at least like the little people trying to take out the big people on television these days. It's not like nobody is brave enough, because I keep hearing that. Like, I think it's so brave of them to tell this story. And while I think it's becoming more common, because look at our current life situations and look at, and even our history, right? Like it becomes common because this is throughout history and ages. This is some of the best storytelling that we can do because we pull from our own experiences.
Right.
But it's just not the only show on TV that's talking about this. Yeah. So I need it to be great. I'm definitely sticking with it. And the performances are really carrying me because they're stellar. The performances are so good. Yeah. But I just wish I cared about any of the storylines. Okay, let me ask you this. Spoilers or no spoilers?
Well, I do want to say one thing with your brave thing before we move on. I think it is brave to do this in the world of Star Wars. And so you have to put that in the context. I think what you're saying is absolutely correct. It's not brave in the world of television overall, because we've seen this stuff before. But I think in the world of Star Wars, that was the first time the word rape has ever been uttered in any live action Star Wars ever. That's the first time a scene like that has really been shown in Star Wars. So there's little things that they're doing that I do think are brave within the context of the pew 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 Star Wars. It doesn't mean there hasn't been dark stuff before, of course, but
Yeah.
this level we haven't really seen in Star Wars, and I think that's important. But yes, okay,
You're
go ahead.
you're so right. That's why I started this by saying I am
Yeah.
reviewing this as a television show.
Right, exactly. As you should.
So, but if we are talking about this as a Star Wars property,
Mhm.
then I think it's a completely different parameters, right?
Right.
This is a Disney property.
Right.
So we're under a completely different umbrella then.
Yes.
But
Yes.
okay, speaking on what you just mentioned is what
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about. I think it's interesting that they did that we hear that he almost raped me, he's dead,
Right.
he's outside, come out.
Right.
But now I need you guys to deal with that. I need you guys as a show to deal with the
Yes.
ramifications of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they won't, because I haven't seen past episode 3. But
Yeah.
what I fear is that sometimes in shows like this, we're willing to go there, but then we're not willing to explore what that means.
I think you're so spot on, especially when you're dealing with Disney and Marvel and Star Wars. Marvel really has committed this crime a lot recently. They'll bring up a subject and they'll touch on it. What's it like to be a black superhero in America? But then they won't really dive into the minutia and the nuance and the different things that you experience as a black person in this country. They'll touch on it and generally say, oh God, that's a bad thing, but they won't really dive into it. I can assure you that this stuff with Bix carries over throughout the whole season. It is
So
a
then I have a
storyline.
feeling I'm gonna like the show a lot. You know, I was nervous that
Right.
we're
Totally.
presenting these huge concepts and
agree.
these scary things that are very real for a lot of people
Yes.
and
Yes.
and have ramifications,
Right.
personal ramifications, worldly ramifications. So I just want to see that. And again, Kristian told me, I know you you liked but didn't love the first season. I have a
Yeah.
feeling the first 3 episodes are going to be a continuation of that for you, and then after that point, it's going to pick up.
Right. Right.
And so I was like, okay, let me go in with that mindset. And he also told me there was going to be a lot of talking. And John, oh my God, there's so much talking.
Yes, it is a talking show.
We be around a table talking all the time. I'm like, okay, let me put out my notepad. What are we talking about today? I got to take notes from Google. 'Cause I don't know what planet you're talking about. I don't know what people you're talking about. I don't know. Okay. So much talking. I wish they showed me a little more sometimes, which
That's fair. That's totally fair.
maybe they will.
And
It sounds like I hate the show, which I don't. I really
No.
I enjoy it. It's just overhyped for me.
I think you're offering honest criticism, which I appreciate because I've seen, over the last few weeks, people chiming in going like, why is everybody fawning over everything? And it's like, no, I'd rather have a fun back and forth about it where both points of views are heard and consumed rather than just dismissed. And I think that's important. So I totally respect where you're coming from. And in no way am I trying to make you like the show. I love the fact that you've got your own opinion on it. It's very reasoned.
I do like it. I like it.
Yeah. It's you like, and you want to see. And the next 3 episodes are the longest 3 episodes of the season. Each of
How
them
long?
are almost an hour each. And
Okay.
the other ones are more balanced with like one being long, one being almost an hour, the other 2 being like 45, 46 minutes. So that's how it's going. But like the next 3 are the really long episodes, and it's laying the foundation of everything they just kind of touched on. We're going to see it more in motion. And I'll be curious to see what you feel after the next 3. As Kristian said, these might be more the ones that you're into, and then it leads to the third 3 episode block, which is really that is the emotionally poignant section of these 12 episodes that I think I'm real curious to hear what you think. And
yeah,
I really am.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
You and I share a very close mutual friend who I think you're specifically referencing right now, as
Yeah.
Kristian lovingly says, Jeff Schneider, who I read, and
it hasn't been just him. There's other
really?
people doing it too. So yeah.
He has an amazing newsletter, The Insider, but he did an entire thing last night about how everybody is just so positive about all of these different properties. And I have to say, like, I know what he's talking about.
Right.
And I'm a pretty positive person in general, especially as an artist. I think that it's so easy to knock something, but it takes so much to create something. It's so difficult that I am a positive person. But In general, for me, as you guys know at home, or maybe you don't, I'm not a critic first. So
Right.
when I go see something that I don't like, or if I'm at home and watching a show that I don't like, do you know what I do?
What's that?
I never talk about it again. I
If you
don't
don't like it. Right,
if I
right,
don't
right,
like it,
right, right.
here's what I do. You'll know I didn't like it because I just don't speak about it. If I tell you I'm going to a movie screening or a premiere, or
Right.
if I'm watching a show and you don't hear me talk about it, that means I didn't like it. Because I just am not somebody who wants to waste my time
Right.
talking about things I don't like. Something like Andor, I do like. So I like
Mm.
to talk about it because even talking to you, John, it makes me like it more.
Oh,
Hearing kind of like, okay, this is what's for you in the future. This
right,
might be
right.
something that you're interested in. Here's what to look forward to. I do like it and it makes
Yeah.
me look forward to it. So if I don't like something, you just never hear it from my mouth. Like I just never mention it.
Well, well, I have seen a couple on the Real Rejects when you've done out of theater reactions, and you do struggle to not be negative about a thing, and you almost seem like, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. So a couple of times, yeah, but I know for the most
Yeah,
part, you don't go out of your way to create a video to like crap on a project that you don't like or whatever, or
that's true.
pull
I
out.
will and I'm honest. I'll be
Because those
honest.
are
And
out of theater reactions, as part of your
yeah,
job. So yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But
understood.
I try not to focus on the things that I really don't like. So,
Yeah, yeah,
because also it puts me in a bad headspace. Like you're
yeah.
always talking about things you hate. What a horrible life to live. I just don't want to.
I disagree. I don't disagree with you. And it's why, like, as I've gotten older as a critic and as a pundit or a reviewer or whatever you want to call it, it's if I'm becoming more selective of the things I watch because of my time and because of I don't want to go see a terrible movie for 2 hours. I don't want to have to crap on it. I'm like, if I have 3 or 4 friends who've gone to see it ahead of me and they tell me how bad it's going to be, I'll just wait sometimes. And it depends on the movie. Sometimes I'll just go. But other times I'll just kind of wait and then catch it on video, watch it, and then they'll be like, yeah, they were right. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying. I try to keep away from that kind of stuff
Totally. Yeah, you know
overall.
what's frustrating though, and I
Yeah.
know you can relate to this, and Christian loves when I do this, but I just gave a we've been live 17 minutes. For 14 of them, I've been talking about how I like Andor, but
Yes.
am not in love with it.
Yes.
And I'm done with my 15-minute discussion on it.
Okay.
I'm surprised Roxy doesn't like Andor in the chat. And it's
Oh,
like I can't get anyone to listen to my words.
well, it's Mike Joyce, and Mike at times
I know,
takes
but it's
things a
not
little
just
too
him, and I call
general.
out Mike all the time, even though I love Mike, but he'd be
Yeah.
doing annoying stuff all the time. But I can't get it happens to me all the time where I'll spend it's not just a tweet. John, you asked me back and forth questions. We discussed it. We
Yep.
talked about it. I said the things I liked about it, the things I'm concerned about, but I said multiple times, I like the show. And then somehow the takeaway is, I can't believe Roxy doesn't like Andor. And it's just like, I don't know how to get anybody to care that my words are my words and my actual feelings. And same with you, I'm sure, John. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
at times, yes. It's a losing battle with certain people. Other people do listen to us and are very clear about it, but then and even Mike just said I was half listening. Well, then don't fully
Then
comment
don't,
if you're only half listening. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, exactly.
then don't full comment,
Anyway.
full send, full delete. Like,
I
come
know.
on.
And someone tried to compare you to one of those notable Star Wars YouTube pundits who's just negative about everything. And Roxy's not saying that because I heard their comments, and their comments are very clearly from a certain self-serving point of view. And so this is not what's happening here. This is much more of a nuanced conversation about these
Wow,
episodes.
I've never been
Yeah.
accused of being negative about everything. That's interesting.
It's ridiculous stuff. All right. Anything more to say on this? And I'm sorry for some of you who maybe thought, we were going to talk about it and, we were going to get into it. So I hope you guys have a good idea of what both of us feel about Andor and what's coming here, because there is 9 more episodes. It'll be done in 3 weeks, which I think is really, what do you think about that, Rox? I haven't gotten your 2 cents on that. You're a person, as you said, you watch 200 episodes or 200 television shows a year, which is incredible. But what do you think
120,
about
200 would be crazy, but yeah, it's still a lot.
120. What do you think about the release plan here that they released all 12 of these within a 4-week time frame? It isn't really binging, but it's also chunks at a time, And it isn't separated into chunks here and then wait a few weeks and the next chunk. It's very much like one right after the other. So what do you think about that?
My favorite model, and for a long time, this goes back to our Collider days. My
Yeah.
favorite model for streaming television has always been 3 episodes in the first week and then 1 every week. I think it's enough to get you into a show and then keeps you coming back week by week. Now, of course, there are exceptions to that depending on what that show is,
Right.
and how long those episodes are. But just in general, that's my favorite. 3 episodes every week for only 4 weeks when this is their big property of the year, felt like a really weird call. But when they said there's a year between every chunk, it made it make a little more sense.
Right.
And I understand why we got those first 3 last night, because I honestly thought the first 2 were very lackluster. And then the third one really picks up.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I get why we got 3 here. But I wish that this was lasting longer. I wish that I didn't have to watch 3 hours last night in order to talk to you about this today. I wish I could watch one, have it sink in, do my Googling, put the pieces together, ask you questions about it in between weeks, and then be like, okay, I'm ready. It's a lot for a casual fan to do 3 hours of this. But I haven't seen the whole thing like you have, so I can't say that it doesn't make sense because I'm not there yet. After watching all 12, do you feel like it was the right release strategy?
No, I actually don't. And I know that they're doing this, I think, to make it qualify for the Emmys, possibly, which I think it should be in consideration for it after having seen the whole season. But that being said, I don't think so, because I think there are some pretty strong episodes coming that it would be nice to have a whole week of discourse about just that episode. But the fact you've got to rope in the other 2 episodes when talking about one of the episodes, I think is where it's going to be a bit detrimental. We're still going to get the think pieces and the videos and whatever, but I think you're losing out on the momentum that you could generate. And certainly Star Wars needs a lot of positive momentum right now. Celebration was one of the most tamest things I've ever seen in my life. No boldness coming out of that, which is really rare for Star Wars. So
I didn't even know it happened until it was in the middle of it. I was
like, a lot of people said that too. So and so you want to generate like 12 weeks of buzz, or at least, as you said, the first 3 episodes, then like 9 weeks of buzz around this property. But unfortunately, it's going to be over in 3 weeks. And I think people will talk about it, be into it, and then in a month it'll be gone. Like people will, oh yeah, remember when Andor came out? Because we're going to be moving into the summer movie season, into the thick of the summer movie season in just 3 weeks. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the situation.
What would have been your ideal? 1 a week, or a chunk and then 1, or what do you think?
No, I think what you said, the first 3 to get you to understand we are going to pick up right where we left off. We are staying, well, I mean, a year later, but the energy and the attention to detail and the direction and the point of view, we're going to keep that for the first 3 episodes. So you're in good hands if you like those 3 episodes. And then 1 episode a week so that you can really sink in and watch it multiple times. Because, I mean, the idea of watching 1 episode multiple times over a 7-day period, that's doable. The idea of watching 3 episodes multiple times to kind of really consume what you're watching and catch all the stuff that's going on, I think that's a lot to ask of viewers, myself personally, and binging.
What is your plan now that you've seen all of them? Are you going to rewatch some of them, or what is your intention?
I've already written down 3 episodes that I'm going to rewatch multiple times before I review them with the Geek Buddies and with the Jedi Way crew. So I know which ones I'm going to rewatch already. If there's time on a Sunday, now that we're not in football season, I might sit and rewatch those other 2 that are part of the block. But in each block, there is 1 episode that I want to rewatch more than once, because I think that's the crux of each of those blocks, and I think the 3rd episode would have been the one to rewatch here for me. So yeah,
I would love to rewatch the 3rd episode of this.
Yeah.
But man, I just felt exhausted after watching all 3. I was like, oh, okay. Let me just do a little stretching in. Like, I can't believe you did 12 in 1 day. That would have put me in the ground.
I've never done it. I've never done 12 in 1 day, Rox. Never.
Why did you do that? Were they going to go away?
No, because I was going to go away at 6 p.m. PT last night.
Okay.
And listen, I had it for 2 weeks. But I've been working on so many things, and to be honest with you, for me, Andor is a very special show. A Latino lead, the conversation about fighting back against a fascist dictatorship, the allusions to immigration, the allusions to these smaller countries that get taken over by bigger countries sometimes in the history of Latin American countries. Like, there's a lot for me when I went into Andor that touched me, right? And so I kind of sat, I was like waiting for the right time, I could not get in the mood. And then the night before, on I think what's today, Wednesday, so Monday night, I was like, all right, you're going to get up at 7 or 8 a.m. You're going to confront this and you're going to watch the whole thing. And so there wasn't a sense of like, well, I'm forcing myself. It was more a matter of, if I like it, because I saw some of the reactions that were really positive, I will keep watching it. And if not, then I'll just, watch it with everybody else when the 3-episode drops. I don't really lose anything, but I couldn't stop consuming it. I was so just loving the characters and the storylines and where they were going and what they were showing. And there's a lot of shocking moments in the next 9 episodes that I was just like, oh my God. My girlfriend was in the middle of a Zoom when I yelled out from one moment, and she texted me. She goes, I am in the middle of the Zoom with my supervisor. I was like, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. So yeah, so there are some really interesting stuff that's happening. So,
when you say I'm going to tackle this, I'm going to confront this. So were you looking at this like a chore, or just like right now with the state of the world and my personal life or whatever, this is too hard to watch?
Yeah, I was worried about how much of it would affect me. As I'm not, you guys know, for those of you who follow me, I'm not the regular viewer. There's a lot of, I am a politically savvy person. It affects my life every day. And so for me, I knew what they were going to be tackling in this season from having seen interviews and things of that nature. So I was like, kind of, what can I say? I was kind of strengthening myself up to watch it because of, how I have been taking some of the stuff that's been going on in our real worlds. And I will be honest with you, there's a lot of blurring of the lines when you watch this season of Andor between what's going on and at times it's prescient for a show that was shot 2 years ago. So to me, it was shocking, some of the stuff that we see, and especially that scene where you see the 2 guys in that 3rd episode going, okay, here's what we're going to do about Gorman. We're going to fabricate that they're terrorists and they're harboring terrorists, and we're going to name them all terrorists, and we're going to fabricate this whole narrative, and people are going to believe it. They're going to buy it hook, line, and sinker, because what we really want is this. And just seeing that, my mind was like, what the? So, it just was that kind of stuff.
Got you.
It's very blurring of the lines between the real world and the fantasy world that they've got there in Star Wars. So yeah, I just had to kind of get myself in the right mind space. And I was watching the whole thing. I was never bored. I was never like, oh my God. I was more just, except after one episode, I had to take a walk for like 20 minutes outside after one of the episodes to really kind of calm down before I came back to finish out the rest of the season. But other than that,
completely.
Yeah. So, anyway, all right, we've talked about Andor for almost 30 minutes. We should go to our first commercial break here from the Stitch Fix, and afterwards we're going to talk some more TV with the queen of TV there, Roxy Striar, right after this.
All right, let's talk about Stitch Fix. I know shopping's hard. I know it is. I found a much better way to do it, though. Stitch Fix, online personal styling, and makes it so easy. I'm not a shopping person. It doesn't matter. Even if I can figure out my size, stores never seem to really have what I need in stock. And I'm not a crowds person. I'm not a lines person. I don't have the time for it. Stitch Fix, it gets you a stylist who understands your style, understands the size, gets the budget. They do all the shopping for you. So I just give my stylist the one that I have right now. I give them the size, I give them the style, I give them the budget preferences. I order boxes when I want, how I want, no subscription required. And he just sends me for pieces, pluses, outfit recommendations, styling tips. It's awesome. I keep what works and then I send back the rest. It's very easy. There's no stores, there's no crowds, there's no stress. Just personalized looks that you're going to love. Stitch Fix makes it all so easy. And it looks like you know what you're doing, too. If you're walking around, you go, hey, look at you. You're in style. I said, I know, right? And then I give Stitch Fix some props. Anyway, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/KHS. One more time, stitchfix.com/KHS.
All right, there you go, Stitch Fix. I mean, I need to get a stylist, at some point. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old. What about you, Roxy?
You have a lady outlaw. That's like having a built-in stylist.
Yes, you're right. We don't really leave the house that much anymore, so I don't know how much of a stylist I need. But if you do, Stitch Fix is a great place to go and get some great clothes and get somebody who understands your body type and get you some good stuff there for your life. Anyway, Roxy, let's get back to things. We got to get into the TV stuff. The new trailer for Wednesday dropped here. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. I'm going to bring this up here for us to discuss, and I'm going to read this article just like Kristian does. Where is it?
Are you going to stumble on all the words?
No, I'm not.
I'm not like Kristian does.
No, I'm very well spoken. So
that was my jab at you, Kristian, to see if you're actually watching the show.
Some people said he's pissed in the chat, but
I know, but the thing is, he's not, because he doesn't like when this becomes a political show. We didn't speak about anything political. You said in your personal life you were gearing up to watch a show. I asked you why. Kristian would have had nothing bad to say about that conversation. Exactly. I think he's probably stoked with us that we're here doing his show while he is off gallivanting.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, sitting in the lawn chair outside.
Yeah,
his house with the Mai Tais. Anyway, Netflix has premiered the first trailer for the. Oh wait, are we both on the screen? Okay, good. Yes, Netflix has premiered the first teaser trailer for the highly anticipated second season of its smash hit dark comedy horror series Wednesday. In addition, they've announced the air dates for the new run, with part 1 coming on August 6th and part 2 coming on September 3rd, as we discussed release dates. It's expected the new season will again be 8 episodes, but it's not clear how many will be in each part. Jenna Ortega returns as Wednesday Addams and is joined by 4 returnees who've been upgraded to regulars for the new season. Oh, shout out to their bank accounts. Luis Guzman and Catherine Zeta-Jones as her parents, Gomez and Morticia, Isaac Ordonez as Pugsley, and Luyanda Unati Luis Naewo, I hope I said that right, as Richie Santiago. Also back are various classmates from Emma Myers to Hunter Doohan. Also joining the cast for the new run are Steve Buscemi, who will, from what I understand, become the new principal, replacing Gwendolyn Christie, Billy Piper, Noah Taylor, Evie Templeton, Joanna Lumley for you AbFab fans, Tandy Newton, Francis O'Connor, Haley Joel Osment, which we hope he's getting some help after that traffic stop, Heather Matarazzo, Christopher Lloyd, and Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, of course. The new season will be darker, more daring, and have more of a horror tone. Damn it, you got me all. Then the first is true romance angle. Alfred Goff and Miles Millar are the writers and showrunners, with Tim Burton executive producing. The first season remains Netflix's most-watched English language series, along with scoring 4 Emmy wins from 12 nominations. All right, Roxy, what do you think?
Netflix's most-watched English language show?
Series, yeah. Pretty surprising.
And not only is that surprising, but so the first part of this second season doesn't drop until August, and then the second part September. For a TV show, dropping this teaser in April, it shows that they're like, this is one of our biggest of the year.
Yeah,
that's quite a bit of headway. So I really like Wednesday. I had so much fun with it. Again, at the time, I was doing World Goals with Dorina, and we really felt like Wednesday and Enid. Is that how?
Yeah, Enid, her friend. Yeah.
I'm so Enid. Like Enid and I are like this. I mean, we have the same personalities half the time. I'm obsessed with her. So we loved it, and I loved the show in general, and I'm really looking forward to this. I am surprised that this is the #1 watched English language series for them. That is unbelievable. You would think Stranger Things.
Yeah, you would think Stranger Things, but apparently the way, especially because both of them are kind of darker in tone, although there's a bit more comedy in Wednesday than there is necessarily in Stranger Things. But I mean, they would appeal to the same age bracket and age demographic, you would argue, with it. But apparently this is the one that is the top English language. I imagine Squid Game is the top overall of any language possibly on Netflix, but this is for English language.
Huge. I don't think, if you had just asked me top of my head, what are the top 5 Netflix shows, I don't know that Wednesday would have come to mind, because I really did love it, but it's not top of mind for me. And so I think it's smart that they're releasing this now to get us excited. I think it's also smart that they're going to do that 2-part drop, so that's not just all at once. We're August and September. This is exciting. Jenna Ortega rules. That's how I feel.
That's great.
You watched the show?
I did. I watched it months later, after it had already aired. I almost did reaction videos to them, but I thought it was way past the time. But I watched it. That took me about 3 days to finish the series. Because I'm not really its target demographic, but I I grew up with the Addams Family, the black and white versions, and then the movies with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston that were so great. It was nice to see Christina Ricci back, and I like Gwendolyn
For
Christie.
sure.
Yeah, and Jenna Ortega is just, she's awesome how she's blowing up, and so
I
I
think
had
she's so talented. Just watching her, I love to watch her.
yeah, right. But people talk about Florence Pugh, but like, I hope at some point Jenna makes that jump to be just as big on the theatrical side of things, because she is so gifted at such a young age with her
What's the
abilities.
comparison to Florence Pugh?
Well, Florence Pugh came in, and like immediately as a young actress, people were trumpeting her as an incredibly layered, complex, nuanced actress who can really deliver these fantastic performances in multiple types of genres of shows and movies, like what Little Drummer Girl, and then what she did on screen with Lady Macbeth and these. Oh, no, sorry, I forget what it was called, but like these other films that are throughout that she was a part of, and so it's just this mixture of people. Like, she's like so incredibly talented, like at such a young age, with Little Women. And I think Jenna needs to be in that mix, but she needs that like big theatrical feature. I think that's going to get people to see how good she really is across the board. Because this is the series.
How old is Jenna?
Oh, good question. How old is Jenna?
Because Florence is almost 30. I think of Jenna as, because Jenna, I think the first time I saw her was in You. It might not have been, but
that series.
When she was on You, I remember watching her when she looked about 14. So I think of Jenna as so young. I don't think of her and Florence in the same age group. Are they in the same age group?
They're both in their 20s. So yeah, I mean, Florence Pugh is 29. Jenna is 22 right now.
Okay. Okay. So she's got time. I mean, in the next 7 years, do I see Jenna Ortega being as big as Florence Pugh is now? Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I really think she could, but in your 20s, that 7 age gap, it's kind of, it's meaningful in your career. So
yeah,
especially because of the like conversations that Jenna's had where, Kristian all the time is harping on how she said some things that he doesn't think are super smart, but now she's gotten better with her PR. Like, do you remember when she came out and said she had COVID when filming Wednesday? And
yes, that was
and it was like, why'd you say that? Why'd you
right.
So I think she's done some foot and mouth things that it's like, you're young, so of course you're going to say things that are not the best thing to say. So I think she'll get better at that.
But I think that's the comparison. These two, and this is happening more and more, Roxy, and I'm sure you monitor this or catch this as well. Like, a lot of young actors coming into the business, they don't come in with that wide-eyed thing anymore like before. Like, they're coming in and they're like, I'm producing my own stuff. I'm executive producing my series, my shows. I mean, Diego is executive producer on Andor. Like, you're seeing Margot Robbie's, started her own production company and to build her. So you're seeing more and more. Florence Pugh is the same thing. Like, she is a producer or an EP on just about everything she's involved in now, and she hasn't even got out of her 20s yet. And I think that's what you're seeing. And I think Jenna does the same thing. Jenna came in very clear about what she wants to do and who she wants to be and how to control her brand and the work she wants to see coming out of her brand. And like the other thing she said that got her in trouble is that she rewrote some of the scripts for Wednesday. And
I remember that.
A lot of people who represent the WGA were coming out and giving her crap for saying that, because people have a thing within the creative community of actors claiming to write stuff, and they feel it denigrates writers. So, you saw all of that as well. But as you said, she's only 22.
Yeah.
We've all said stupid stuff.
Oh my God. I said the dumbest stuff at that age. Like, so I would be mortified if people were like, this is, I thought I was the bee's knees. Like, I said such stupid stuff. So I give her a lot of credit. It's a lot of power really early on. To your point though, John, do you think that that's a good thing or a possible future bad thing? The fact that people are coming in younger and having more ownership over their careers and more power early on.
I think it's a good thing. I'm always in favor of players or actors or people who are in service of a larger corporation being in charge of themselves, being self-possessed, believing in themselves and knowing their worth when they walk through the door. Because corporations will dismiss you and toss you out at a moment's notice. Team owners will drop you from their squad at the second they can, you get injured or whatever. So if you can control your ascension, I think it's actually really important. It doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. It doesn't mean you won't, maybe, as you said, being young, saying dumb things that might affect your brand. But look, You said it, so you own it. And I think there's something about that I like, that actors are coming in with much more control of their own products, so that the projects rather, so they don't get abused by producers or directors or studio heads and executives, which we've heard numerous stories of for decades, and so I kind of like it. Not everyone's doing it, but the ones that are, I think, it's good. And it's usually the really talented ones, Roxy. It's usually people see that are really talented from the beginning. They're given this kind of rope to do what they want to do,
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. I think that it is very challenging. And this is whether you have the power or not, when you are young coming into the industry, to figure out a way to somehow know how grateful you should be for the opportunity.
Right. Yes.
I think that it's challenging when you are so young. If I was successful when I was 14, I don't think I would want it as bad as I want it now. I don't think I would work as hard as I work now.
Right.
I don't think I would be as on point every single time I walk into a room as I am now, because it feels less earned. And so if you pair that with power early on too, it does make me a little bit nervous that you think that like you have all of the cards, and I know at that age I wouldn't have been able to in my teens and in my early 20s. If you were like, oh yeah, you've got it all and you've got the power and you have full control, I think it would have been a mess for me.
I mean,
good on them if it's better for them, but it also comes with great power comes great responsibility.
Hey,
John, so.
I think I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
But I also think kids are growing up at younger ages nowadays, right? With the access to everything they have, they're maturing. I don't mean maturing in that they're able to do whatever, but they're being more aware of the world. And so the ones that are born with this kind of intelligence and perspective that you need to succeed in the business of Hollywood, it's great to see that there are avenues for them to be able to achieve that success in that way and to control their brand from the beginning. So. By the way, I want to remind you all, we're at only 17 super chats. We're trying to beat Roxy from yesterday to 85, beat herself, so to speak, at 85. So, come on, people. We've been giving you some great comments and commentary over the last 40 minutes. Send in your super chats. Help us beat 85 here before we go into tomorrow and Friday, because those superhero boys, they love to think they're the bee's knees and win. So let's get the victory on this side, Roxy.
Never are we paired together, so definitely send them in. But also, so you guys know, I think you guys know the behind the scenes of how this works is that Kristian gives whoever wins that week a bonus. So it is only good for me to beat myself from yesterday, because then not only do I get it, but then John gets it. So that's how it works, guys. Come on, show up to show out. Come on.
Disney Plus isn't cheap, y'all. Watching these shows, come on now.
Disney Plus. Do you have Netflix?
I have Netflix. Yes.
I spend $26 a month on Netflix.
Yeah. I have them all. I have Max. I have Peacock. I have Hulu, and
Netflix is the most expensive, right?
Netflix is the most expensive. Yes. Although Max give it a run for its money, because it's like Max is $200 now for a year, and you break that up into it's still not as much as Netflix, but it's a pretty penny. It's almost $15. So yeah.
Yeah, but there's the under 20s and then there's the over 20. And
right.
That's a lot of money.
That's true. That's
a lot of money.
Well, let's keep it going, because we got to hit some more stories here for the world of TV, Roxy. Let's hit some Last of Us stuff here. These now this is spoilers. Some of you were alluding to spoilers with our Andor discussion. So spoilers here. But The Last of Us Season 2, the Episode 2 reactions are continuing here. For those who played the game, they knew it was coming. However, it seems a lot of people who managed to avoid 5 years of spoilers, that would be me, were taken by surprise on Sunday. Pedro Pascal's Joel met his death on screen in the second episode of the second season of The Last of Us. As a result, there's been widespread reaction to the event of the show, still trending heavily on social media over 48 hours after the episode aired. Reactions will be familiar to those who are around for the second game's leaks and release. Though, interestingly, there has been visibly less outright hostility and the inevitable blowback. Reaction more of a shock, surprise, as well as anger. This is especially true in the case of Abby, with many responses taking pains to point out their hatred towards the character, not the actress Caitlin Dever, who has been getting praise for her performance in those scenes. That likely comes as a welcome relief for the producers and Dever after the game's Abby performer, the voiceover performer, Laura Bailey, received utterly inexcusable death threats targeting her and her newborn son back when the game spoilers leaked in 2020. Meanwhile, series co-creator and showrunner Craig Mazin says despite Joel's death, there's still a lot more of him to come in the next few episodes. Appearing in an episode of The Last of Us podcast, Mazin says, but I will say, and I'll be intentional about this, that we do know that for the viewer, there are some mysteries here. There's some gaps about Ellie and Joel's relationship, and I don't think it's a spoiler based on the fact that there is a trailer out there with lots of shots in it. This is not the last time we will see Joel. And then the article goes on to talk about all the different ways that we're going to see Joel in the show. I don't need to go into that. So, Roxy, your thoughts. A, did you watch this episode? What was your reaction? And B,
imagine if I didn't, not just told me.
No, well, you got the rundown ahead of time. So I'd be like, well,
imagine what? Also, just like constantly have no notes for society. Excellent work sending death threats to the voice actress. Excellent work. Excellent work. No notes, just so good. You must feel so good about yourself. Like, you know who I'm gonna get. Like, also, you're sending to the wrong person. She had no ability to say whatever. Anyway, on this, what do you want to talk about, John? What do you want to talk about?
What was your did you know this was coming? And
no,
if
I
you
had
did,
no idea.
What was your reaction? Were you in pieces? Did you stop your viewing? What happened? What was your reaction?
The most fortunate and unfortunate thing about me now, I love being on Real Rejects. Love it.
Yeah.
I'm covering this for them.
Oh, nice.
And the most fortunate thing is that we can always look back and see how I reacted. The most unfortunate thing is that we can always look back and see how I reacted. And let me tell you who was in denial.
Oh.
My face doesn't move the entire time. And I'm sitting there and I just say, no, he's fine. He's fine.
Which part did you say is fine?
The whole way through, including the body bag.
Did you wanted to see his head like kind of moving in the body bag?
John's sitting next to me hysterically crying. And I was like,
oh, wow.
No, I mean, maybe he's not the one in the bag. I don't know. Like everything that I said. I like, well, no, because he moved his finger. No, he fluttered his eye. No, because through the throat, maybe he won't be able to speak anymore, but he's definitely alive. Like the way that I justified what was happening, because I had no idea. And as a TV watcher in a second episode, that's not what you do. So I was like, I also, John, went back, and you guys, if you watched the show yesterday, you know this. As a TV watcher, I am very, very adjusted to the format of television. And so when you have an apocalypse show, this is why it's so smart. They didn't do this in the game, but they did do this in the TV show because they knew people like me. When you have an apocalypse show and you take everybody who needs to survive and you put them outside the walls. So we have Joel, Ellie, Jesse, Abby, and Dina all outside the wall.
Yeah.
Immediately, I know inside the wall they're getting torched. Because everybody we need to live is outside. So I think Tommy's a goner. I think Maria's a goner. And I'm dealing with that.
You're like, Seth can go. You're like, Seth can go for his comments the night before. Yeah.
But listen, Seth's apology, that I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have even thought it.
Good apology. It's good
I shouldn't have even thought it is the key part there.
Yep.
So I'll take, in life, we get so few apologies. When I get an apology, I usually say, thank you. I'll take it.
Yes, exactly.
It's so rare. So I'll give that to Seth. But anyway, as a TV viewer, I'm sitting here already trying to make peace with the loss of Maria, which didn't end up happening.
You were mentally.
I'm thinking, okay, that sucks, but I can deal with it.
Right.
So when we get to the Joel stuff, I'm beyond willing. I'm so not willing to accept what was happening. I just made up a whole different story in my head, like a lunatic. I was like, no. Through the neck, I was like, yeah, well, you know, it's going to be a hard recovery from that. That's a tough recovery, but we'll do it together. Body bag, I was like, could he breathe in that thick of fabric? Was it maybe I mean, just truly delusional. That was my response.
Yeah.
What was your response, and what did you know going into this?
I sensed it was coming. I sensed it was coming
But you didn't know.
because I didn't know. I didn't know, but I know that people had kept saying to me, just you wait till the second season. There's something really shocking that happens. And, you know, when you've watched enough TV shows, and I've watched almost 4+ decades of TV shows,
Yes.
you know what that means when they talk about a shocking moment. So what it means.
I hadn't heard that. I had heard nothing about a
really?
shocking
Yeah.
moment. No one said that to me.
All our reviews for last season when we did them on the Geek Buddies, people were just like, just you wait till season 2, just you wait. And it was like, okay. So I had a feeling. I know it was going to happen this early in the season? Hell no. But the second Abby says to him when he wants to go back to Jackson Hole, we're only a minute away from my house. We can just go right up here. I was like, oh man, this is happening. Are they doing it this early in the season? And when she shot him in the leg and then pulled out the golf club, oh man, I just was heartbroken because I love Pedro so much.
Yeah,
And I love to see him in these shows so much and the brutality with which they did it, and then cutting to her using her fists to do it. And it's going to be really interesting because, you know, Roxy, as an avid TV watcher, you know that they will present a character that seems pretty evil initially. And then you spend more time with him, you get more of the backstory. I think that's the difference between the HBO version and the video game version. You didn't know until way later in the video game why she killed Joel. And apparently that's what caused people to get really, really angry. Not that they should have done any of those death threats, but in this way, they presented her as the daughter of the doctor. So that's her reasoning. But the way she carried out the death, I think, has been a subject of debate because a lot of people say, well, Joel did a lot of stuff. He alluded to doing terrible stuff last season, and he did indiscriminately kill all those fireflies. And with the way she carried out the death here, she was torturing him.
Yeah.
And so it's almost more psychopathic. You could argue which is the more psychopathic, killing with indifference or killing and relishing it and taking your time with one particular person. So I like that debate has sparked out of this because both sides have validity. So it's just a matter of where you fall on it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. In the chat, Sam, let me know if I'm using the wrong pronouns for somebody. I don't know who uses different pronouns than we're
Bella Ramsey, she's a they, them.
Oh,
they're they, them. But
Bella Ramsey's pronouns are they, them. I didn't know.
We haven't referenced Bella. You know, we were thinking else. Yeah. So,
yeah, but I didn't know. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, just on this, I think that another thing that was interesting that I hadn't heard until recently was Caitlin, you said Deaver. I've been saying Dever. Is that wrong?
Okay. I know. I've heard Deaver, but if it's Dever, it's Dever. You would know more than me. It's more than
no, I wouldn't. I just made it up. So I always say Caitlin Dever, but maybe it's Deaver. But Caitlin lost, I believe, her mom 3 days before shooting this. Or
yes. No, it was the funeral was 3 days before shooting this. She had lost her mom 2 or 3 weeks before shooting this, but the funeral was 3 days before this. Yeah.
So I didn't know that also. And then looking back, and the first thing that she shot was the scene with Joel, the horrific scene. And so imagine like the anger that you're feeling in life and whatever it was. I just think that she did such an unbelievable job. And like you were speaking about, that we already knew that this was because she had a parent killed in this game, you know, that she's already explained that. Fuel to that, she just absolutely nailed this performance. I thought that she was so phenomenal. I did see her getting some hate on her Instagram. Pedro immediately posted a picture of the two of them, I think, to try to mitigate some of that. But props to her. And I think that speaking of young actresses who are going to take off, obviously she's already very big, but I think that this is, she was so good here.
Yeah.
And Bella's always great. So just everybody, the performances are spot on. I'm obsessed with Jesse.
He's a good looking dude.
I just need to let you know, I'm obsessed with his demeanor too. Like everything about him. I
like
love
him,
Jesse.
like him ball busting her about the kiss at the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
You love that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Jesse. It's a great addition.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought, yeah, they all did a great job. And you're right to bring up what Caitlin had gone through just before she shot this. And Craig Mason, Druckmann both said to her, because they had scheduled it to shoot right after her mother had died, but they said to her, "We will shoot all around you. We'll do second unit. We'll do all of this. You tell us what day you're ready to shoot, and we will shoot the scene."
Yeah.
So they were very caring because they were like, "Look, this is a show, but that's real life. And so we will work around you." And I don't think, I'm so happy to see productions that respect their talent as much as they respect themselves. And so it was great to see that for her. And you're right. When I read that quote, it put her performance in a whole nother context. I went and rewatched
Exactly.
the scene, and you're like, man, there's a blurring of the lines here. You can tell for how she's reacting to things that I think was really essential to the scene, and
Yeah, phenomenal.
what's your feeling? Do you think they left her alive and Dina alive as witnesses because they were honoring their code of not killing unarmed people, even though they did kill Joel? Do you think,
John.
or do you think they don't think she is a threat to them, or Dina is a threat to them?
When Abby says we don't kill unarmed people, I said out loud, "Oh, you're going to give him a gun?"
You're gonna give him a fair chance. You're gonna give him a fair chance.
So just so you know my headspace, I said, "Oh, she's going to give him a gun." I was so wrong every step of the way. I think that Abby herself
Yeah.
probably at that point would have killed them all, because we saw that she was just so much further along in this spite and vengeance journey, and that everybody around her was like, "You're pushing it too far. You're pushing too far." But I think Abby knew if she did that she would be ostracized by the rest of her community.
That's an excellent point, because we did see throughout the episode how her compatriots were really uncomfortable with this, how they were going to lie to her.
Yes.
So they wouldn't attack Jackson, because they would have all died. Absolutely. Considering how they fought off that horde, 5 people showing up wouldn't have been anything to them.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's a great point. And then when she unleashes and tells that one girl to keep it down, to shut the fuck up, is what she says, and then says, "I'll kill her." And like, yeah, I agree with you. If Abby was alone, she probably would have killed Joel, killed Dina, and then when Ellie showed up, we had the battle between them. And so
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see where the show goes with this, because she held on to that trauma for 5 years, and she killed
would have
him.
held on to it for 45 years. It seemed
Exactly.
like however long it took.
And she killed him with the vigor that she would have killed him as if it had been the next day.
Right.
And so that's going to be interesting, because now she has Joel passed on the loss of her daughter on to Abby. And now Abby has passed on the loss of her dad to Ellie, because Ellie witnessed the death of her own pseudo father. So will this be just constant passing on of trauma? Will this be a revenge thing, or will we have these two kind of come together and have a bit of an understanding of the whole situation? Because we're going to get more scenes with Joel throughout the season in flashback.
And you're talking specifically about Ellie, which I think is the person who's affected the most, but not to forget that Dina was very close with Joel, and also Wallace was in the room.
That's a good point.
And then not also to forget the fact that Tommy has made it out of his situation.
Right.
So what is his and Jesse is one of the dragger backs of Joel. So there's a lot of people invested in this situation. I heard in the games that it's not Dina that's there, but it's Tommy that's there.
Yeah, Tommy's there. Yeah.
So I am curious about what this will mean for Tommy's future journey too. Is he going to be as vengeful as Ellie is, or is he going to have to take the Joel position with Ellie and try to protect her?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I feel like Dina's going to slide into that role, which is why I think they did a great job of introducing her last episode. And Isabella Merced is doing great work with Dina. And I think that's going to be but the Tommy thing is interesting, because remember in the last season, they made a point of stressing how Tommy was a bit of a mess up when he was younger, and that being with Maria, getting a child, that has really stabilized his life. So now that Joel has come back into his life and been taken out of his life, you know, a year later after he's come back to Jackson Hole, what is the
Did you
reaction?
guys lose John, or did you guys lose me?
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
I think it might be on my end because I got that spinning wheel of death. Am I back?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Scary moment.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Tommy and where he goes with that pain.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. So we should hit one more story before we get to the super chats. And we're at 22. Come on, we gotta get to that.
Wait,
85.
what?
Let's get to
22.
that
That you can barely drink at that age.
I wonder how many we get from Jake. Is Jake going to send any? And he always is a generous donator with you, Roxy. Is Jake going to send any super chats in? I want to see some.
I don't know. He hasn't been on doing this show as much recently,
Oh.
but let us know questions that only R&R can answer, guys.
Yeah, come on.
What do you do for R&R? Send it in the super chat.
And you know, Roxy and I, the filters are always down. So whatever you want to ask us, we are going to give you some honest answers. But
make Kristian pissed at us. Ask us whatever questions you want.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let's move on to some movie stuff here, Roxy, before we get to these questions. Thunderbolts, this is coming out, next week, I think? I think it is. But Thunderbolts director explains why oh, no, wait, that's not the one I wanted to bring up. Damn it.
Have you seen this?
I did not get to go last night. I'm supposed to go Monday, but we will see if the situation works out, because I might drive up to LA to see it in Burbank at the IMAX. We will see. But
I haven't copped that invite yet. I want to see this so bad.
Well, last night there were free screenings all over the country, including LA at the Grove. They had a free screening. You just had to get the notice from Fandango and then apply, and they would have approved whoever got there.
Thanks for letting me know.
I know. Following the film's premiere in London, reactions from Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts movie are in, and it looks as though they might have a winner. This is the whole cast. I don't need to go through the whole cast, but it follows a group of MCU anti-heroes forced to work together on a dangerous mission after being caught in a deadly trap. Reviewers aren't out for a while yet, and premiere reactions are inevitably more gushingly positive than actual reviews. That's very true. But the praise handed out here seems to mostly target the darker tone, the depth of these characters, along with plenty of praise for the actors with Florence Pugh, especially, as well as Lewis Pullman, getting singled out. Here's one from Matt Neglia at Best Picture, my brother there. He says, in many ways different from other MCU films that have come before it, and that freshness couldn't have arrived at a more opportune time. It's some of Marvel's darkest material to date, dealing with the emotional wreckage of broken individuals grappling with their past choices and finding camaraderie amidst the emptiness of their lives. Pugh carries much of the dramatic weight of the movie on her back. That seemed to be clear from the trailer. While Lewis Pullman delivers a complex performance as a sympathetic character at war with himself. Emily Murray over a total film. Well, Thunderbolts is easily one of the best MCU movies in a long time, and maybe one of my personal faves. Has so much spark, charisma, and tells a genuinely emotional story you can connect with. A tear was shed. Florence Pugh in particular is superb, just walks away with it. Randy Jones' Den of Geek, finally a Marvel movie that treats mental health and depression as a serious matter and not like undercutting it for the sake of a quip. A legit good character ensemble piece with a compelling Florence Pugh and Lewis Pullman performance in the center. Yay. I liked it. I was trying to find somebody else we know. Sean Chandler, who's been a guest on the show a couple of weeks ago. I really dug Thunderbolts. It's overtly about depression, loneliness, and purpose. The whole point is they're reject characters. 2/3 mostly ground action, and a third a horror-influenced nightmare. Wow. Feels like the MCU is coming together and building towards something again. So, Roxy, you hear these reactions or you see these reactions. What are your thoughts? Does this excite you for the movie? Dealing with mental health, dealing with depression, and some darkness here.
I'm really excited for this movie. I was really excited from the Super Bowl trailer for this movie. That got me amped on this. The reactions are stellar. It seems like people love this. The ones you read, plus a bunch of our friends, mutual friends who have seen it, who are saying this is phenomenal. Best of the years for the MCU. So I am really, really excited. I guess being super excited always makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, right. Is it going to live up to the hype? Yeah.
So I feel all of the things right now, and I really hope that I'm able to see this, because if I don't be on that screening live, I don't know when that weekend I'm slammed. So I'm like, when am I going to be able to see this movie? How about you? How are you feeling?
I like the reactions, and we're getting reactions from people who weren't just at the premiere. We're getting reactions from people who showed up at those free screenings around the country, and so you're getting a good mixture. I think they've seen some people like Flickinger pointed out, like it starts out well, the second half isn't. It gets a bit formulaic. So I've seen some not so glowingly positive reviews, but certainly positive reviews, though generally overall. So that gets me excited. And I sensed from that last trailer that it was going to be an emotional journey for Florence Pugh, and that I think, as someone who has struggled with mental health and mental health issues, the fact that they are putting this front and center in the movie, and that scene in the trailer where she says to him, "I've made so many mistakes," and Red Guardian looks at her and goes, "When I look at you, I don't see those mistakes. I just see you." That's devastatingly beautiful. And so for me, if that's the energy of the film, and smartly Florence Pugh as the best actress, in my opinion, of everybody in there, or best actor period of anybody in there, she's the one carrying that narrative, then I'm excited to see the film and what it's going to do. So yeah, I'm curious and excited at the same time. So we'll see.
Going through the list of actors in this, it's interesting that you think that Florence Pugh, like you have a definitive who's the best actor of the Thunderbolts.
Yes, I will say Florence Pugh.
Who would be your second?
Probably Sebastian Stan, and then Harbor after him. And then I guess JL, but I guess you could argue, but I don't know if I could argue JLD. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I could put her in third or fourth. You could make an argument about third or fourth. Because it becomes about lead and character actor, right? I mean, like Florence is a lead, JLD is a lead. Harbor's not really a lead. Sebastian Stan has proved himself.
Do you mean in this movie, or do you mean in life?
I mean, in overall in their projects, right? Harbor is rarely a lead, although you would argue Stranger Things, but that's really all the kids and him. So it's more of a kind of a mix. Just really, I think it's more Millie Bobby Brown who's the lead of Stranger Things, in my opinion. But I defer to you if you think I'm wrong. But like, this is how I kind of look at it, And you're asking me on the fly to just.
I know it's tough, because then we'll have these conversations, and then somebody will hold this over your head for the next 50 years.
Totally. I won't get to interview Wyatt Russell ever again.
David Harbour does like some movie where he's the lead, and then you're posted everywhere like, Rocha said he's not a lead. He's not a lead. But no, I just think it is cool that you give Florence Pugh that many flowers. I love Florence Pugh as well. I think she's so unbelievably talented. It's just hard. It's hard to rank actors. I think they're all really good. There's nobody in this movie that I'm like, that's not a powerful actor. I just haven't seen enough of Wyatt Russell yet to compare him. I've obviously seen him, but time will tell with him. And then JLD has like the legacy for me. But she
pops up in some really great independent films. Like her what was the one? Can you forgive me, or whatever it was, the one, or you hurt my feelings?
So good. You hurt my feelings.
You hurt my feelings. Such a good.
So movie. Good. Or she was hysterical in You People. Yeah. She's really. I think she's just excellent. She's excellent.
I gotta see that horror one where she's seeing her son or her daughter is seeing that red bird that is messing with her life, so dealing with the death of someone. So I got to see that as well. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I think it's on Netflix or somewhere. But yeah, I host a show called The Top 10. So ranking people, it's just like a natural thing for me. So, but I also get in trouble for it. But anyway, let's move on before I get in too much trouble. All right, let's get to the questions. I know, Roxy, you have a heart out, so we should jump into the questions. If there's time for more stories at the end, we'll hit those stories. But let's get into the super chat questions first. Let's get to Mad Sinister McCall. It's my two favorite guests on the Kristian Harloff Show. Oh, thank you. What is a song that pumps you up? For me, it's Mama Said Knock You Out, or Call on Me, which is the intro of Warfare. Yeah, Roxy, do you have a song that pumps you up, maybe for the gym or to get on with your life?
Yeah, so always disco music pumps me up. Diana Ross, Donna Summer. But when I think of a song for the gym, I used to start every cardio day with Ante Up. Do you know?
The MOP song?
Yep.
That's a great song.
Come on. How could that not pump you up? That would get me going. Like,
Ante Up. Ante Up. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Exactly. So it's so not, my music tastes all over the place, but that would be my gym pump up song. What about you?
I think it's two of them. The first one is public service announcement from Jay-Z. I love that song. My name is, and all of that. I enjoy that song. And then Tom Sawyer from Rush. I mean, there's just something about that song. When it kicks in, I just lose my damn mind.
Are you a big Rush fan?
Huh?
Are you a big Rush fan?
Rush fan. There's certain songs I like from Rush, but I don't go to see them in concert. I have a friend who is a massive Rush fan, has gone to see them many, many times.
Yeah, that's why I asked that. I feel like people who are Rush fans are like diehard Rush fans.
Yeah. I try to stay out of that. Let's see. Doug Developer, what's up, Doug? Says, how much money would it take for you guys to ever play a large role in a film produced by the Asylum or in a film directed by a hack like Uwe Boll? I don't know what the Asylum is, so I can't answer that side.
And I don't know who Uwe Boll is.
Oh, he did. He's the one that fought Jeff in the boxing match. That's Uwe Boll, that director that fought him in the boxing match in real life, Jeff Snyder.
I don't even know what this story is.
What? You are friends with Jeff. You don't know this story?
No.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Not only am I friends with, like, that's my homie. Wait, what is this?
Apparently that was very early in his career. I think he wrote some kind of review and went back and forth with Uwe Boll about it. And then Uwe said, well, let's meet in the ring and have it out. And it is on YouTube somewhere. Jeff Snyder versus Uwe Boll.
What happened?
A boxing ring. We knocked him the F out. Yeah. So Mama said knock him out, and he knocked him out. So yeah, it was not a good win for Jeff Snyder. Or it was not a good night for Jeff Snyder. So yeah, but it's very early in his career. So
and this is the Asylum, a production company that he works with or something?
I guess so, but Uwe Boll's done like I don't think like Cabin House or whatever it is. Like, they're not good movies. So I don't know. I would never do it. What about you?
You would no amount of money?
Nah, I'm good.
Oh my God, I am so not like that. And unless Jeff looked at me and was like, I don't want you working with this person, friendship over, which then no amount of money. Okay. But as long as Jeff was cool with it,
you'd be
very I'm not gonna say like the lowest rate, but it's not that much. It's not that much. Listen, I've got a Grammy to support. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed. Right. Ain't nothing in this world for free. So yeah, we got to get that paycheck.
Fair point. Yeah, he directed, Uwe Boll directed House of the Dead, Blood Rain. Yeah, some really
I don't know any of those.
Yeah, some other pet In the Name of the King. So yeah, anyway. So all right, Reggie Brown says over under a Cap cameo in Thunderbolts. Well, which Cap? I heard there's 2 end credit sequences in Thunderbolts, so maybe
new Cap. I would say yes. Old Cap, I think no.
Yeah, I agree with Roxy. Over. Okay. Yeah,
I'm taking the. Well, it depends on which Cap. I'm taking the over, and then I'm taking the under.
Right, over on Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Under on Chris Evans.
Yes.
I agree. GoPal says support for Roxy and Rocha. Thank you, GoPal.
Yeah, GoPal rocks.
He's the best. Also, GoPal Rocha, do you think our commies should will into our commanders? Don't call them the commies. What is wrong with you? Not now. Should will take in the first round tomorrow night? Who do you think? I don't know. We need a good offensive line to protect our second year quarterback. So that's what I would
Commies
say.
Is a brutal nickname.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Doesn't play.
Shay Markell, hey Roxy, maybe you and Andrew would like to react to Mile 22. It stars Mark Wahlberg and the lead actor from The Raid, Iko Uwais.
We just did 2 years ago. We did The Raid, and then this week we did The Raid 2. So I think that's why he's saying that. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I don't really pick what I react to. There is a whole mastermind web. And if I say I don't want to do something, they don't make me do it. But for the most part, Greg does an unbelievable job running his business. I can suggest things all I want, but he knows what performs, what doesn't, what combos work. So honestly, in Greg, we trust. And if he thinks that that's a good idea, great. Because people are mad at me all the time. They're like, why did you not react to this thing? Why this thing? And I'm like, because I'm an employee.
Yeah, I wasn't selected for the job. Yeah, exactly. Gopal says, really looking forward to Andor tonight. Wait, what? 2 work things that have to go out, but trying to get done by 5, so I'll have time to get through all 3 episodes.
He just hasn't had time to watch it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Because it dropped last night, Gopal, just to let you know. So,
Yeah, but he said 2 work things and stuff. Gopal's busy.
Gopal's a busy man. He's not busy enough to send a super chat, which you appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly don't even think we gave any Andor spoilers because I don't think I would be able to because I don't be out here knowing any of the character names.
Reggie Brown says the same way it's playing out to people that haven't played the game for or against what happened, it's playing out exactly the same way when people played the game.
That's the Last of Us reference.
Yeah. I don't know that it is necessarily, though, because like the article says, people aren't coming after Caitlin Dever for her portrayal. Like
I just think with that anger, like how they rage quit the game, I think people are pissed about this, but they're still like curious. So
I think that's why they're doing damage control, right? Saying like, well, Joel's going to be in the season. We're still going to have Pedro Pascal. There's going to be flashbacks.
He's going to open his eyes from the body bag and say, hello. Thank you for understanding, John. Literally me saying, oh, she's going to give him a gun.
That's the best.
Are you dumb, bitch? Like, why would she give him a gun? Those are real words that came out of my mouth. I was like,
if she gave him a gun, they'd all be dead within 10 seconds.
Why would I ever think? I was like, oh, she's got.
Because you want him to live.
Yeah, anything, whatever it took.
Mike Joyce says Ross and Rachel, Lestat and Louis, Sam and Diane are Dedra and Cyril, TV's next great couple. What should their couple name be? Those are the 2 in Andor, the
young ones,
the domineering blonde woman who told the mother to get back in her place, and the kind of simpering husband or boyfriend.
No, I don't think that they're the next great couple. I don't even think they're a decent couple. So that was a joke, right? Or what?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know what their couple name would be. I don't know.
Dedro.
Yeah, we'll go with Dedro. Thanks, Mike. Simon Section, really mixed with Star Wars. Come on, John. I don't want cornfields in Star Wars. If so, at least make them look more alien. Have you seen Predator Badlands? Simon, that is ridiculous. Star Wars has multiple planets with multiple different types of environments. If you've read the books or the comic books or any of the canon stuff, there's multiple different environments. Or watch the Clone Wars, there was multiple environments, agriculture and otherwise. So yeah, cornfields are important. Yeah, did you see the Predator Badlands trailer today, Roxy?
I did, because Real Rejects covered it, and I was working on it for socials, so I watched it. Because I try to avoid a lot of trailers these days, but some of them I end up catching work. I didn't see Prey. I have not. I've been like completely not. This isn't a franchise that I can't think of a single movie that I've seen. So
wow,
I've got some viewing to do. So this trailer did nothing for me, but that's not fair.
Right. Yeah, right. Because it's all your own thing. For me, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Considering Prey was very clearly shot on a low budget for a streaming release. This is very much not that in the size and the scope and the images that you see in this teaser trailer. They shot it for IMAX, and you can tell by the look and the feel of this. A lot of Viking, Norse kind of allusions to some of the Predator designs. And I just like the Elle Fanning doing the voiceover, and I'm curious to see what kind of character she is.
I love Elle Fanning. Can I ask you a question about this? This might be a little insider baseball, but
Sure.
When I went to go post this trailer or work on posting for Real Rejects, I was putting together hashtags for them. And I was like, okay, I got to figure out who's in this. So I went to the IMDb for Predator Badlands, and there's literally only 2 actors listed. Are these movies where there's only 2 actors?
Not usually, no, because the first Predator movie is a litany of actors at the time and pro wrestlers all mixed in there for a fun movie. The second one has like Danny Glover and Bill Paxton and all these people involved in it. Then Predator.
Does this have 2 performers in the whole movie?
Yeah, it might just be because Prey itself had a really limited number of actors in the film. And I think Dan likes this is the approach. And so one, obviously Elle Fanning's playing the human cyborg, whatever that is that she does. And then the other guy is playing the Predator. So it's just going to be those two in the movie working together to fight that massive creature that we see at the end of the teaser.
Because even Prey has 34 cast members listed. 2 is just so rare to see. Like, okay, well,
they might be adding more because it doesn't come out till November. So we'll see.
Okay. Just curious about that.
Sure. Dancing Dog 60 says, what movie always puts a smile on your face since it's goofy? Oh, it's goofy for me. It's Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. Oh, wait. What movie always puts a smile on your face?
It's goofy. For me.
For me, it's
Punctuation is key here. Key.
Sorry about that. For me, it's Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. Goofy as hell, but it always makes me laugh. Oh, yeah. What?
I've never heard of Invasion USA. This is why I love Role Models so much.
Oh.
It's so goofy, and it always puts a smile on my face. I love that movie so much.
A goofy movie that puts a smile.
What's Invasion USA?
I guess Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That would be
a great one.
I love that movie, man. I'm so surprised they never made the vampire musical out of that movie because those songs in that movie are hilarious. Invasion USA is one of the multiple vehicles that Chuck Norris did back in the 1980s, where he is representing America against foreign intruders who are trying to attack America. So,
how is the movie?
Have
you seen it?
Horrible. It is horrible. Yeah.
Is it goofy?
All this stuff. Huh?
Is it goofy?
Yeah, it's goofy in the fact that it's really cheeseball in how it approaches its violence and the terrible one-liners that Chuck is saying throughout the whole movie. So yeah.
Do you know what my no, never mind. It's the wrong.
Okay.
Never mind. You said Chuck Norris. I was like, move forward, John. Let me have my brain moment.
Calamanta says Roxy has been negative about anything. You do it all the time. You destroyed Interview with a Vampire. Oh, Roxy, people bringing out the receipts here. Did you destroy Interview with a Vampire?
I don't do it all the time. You literally just named one movie. That was one movie. I'd watched this for Real Rejects, so I have to be honest when I'm watching something live. I didn't destroy the movie. This is what I said. I was so distracted by Kirsten Dunst being a child being kissed by Brad Pitt that I couldn't get over it watching the movie. I felt so bad for her. I went down such a rabbit hole reading about her afterwards, talking about how uncomfortable she was. And she was a child, and it ruined the movie for me. That's not me destroying Interview with the Vampire. That's me saying I couldn't watch it and not feel like Hollywood totally screwed up on this. This is such a bummer for this real human, this real actress who was put in a position that she should not have been put in my opinion. So that destroyed my personal viewing experience.
Yeah, I think that's a valid personal thing versus the quality of the movie. So you're commenting from your personal, so that's not a negative thing about the movie.
Yeah. I wasn't like, this movie is horrible. I was like, I'm having a hard time watching this.
Yeah. I have a hard time watching Professional now. When I watch the Natalie
I just watched it for the first time and I loved it, but apparently the cut we watched edited a lot of stuff out.
So okay.
I don't know, but what I watched, and the difference was in that one, I felt like she was coming on to him, but I never thought he was coming on to her. So again, it might be the cut that I watched, but this one, I felt like he was coming on to her.
Right.
We have a kiss. It was so distracting to me.
That's fair.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Nerds Engage, who's been a member for 6 months. Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic all within 2 weeks of each other. How do you see that going? And is it good for the movie theaters going forward?
Are they within 2 weeks?
Yeah, in July. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the order of that? Is it that's the order?
Hold on. Let me take a look real quick while you give your thoughts on this.
I think that is that good for movie theaters going forward? Obviously, we like our stuff to be a little more spread out. I think that there's a lot of things that are good for movie theaters right now. I think Sinners is one of them. I think hype around Superman is another one of them. We'll see what the hype is for Fantastic Four. It seems to be mixed right now. Jurassic, I think, is kind of a non hype movie. I don't know anybody who's stoked for Jurassic right now.
Yeah, I am not. I am
No,
not.
I don't know one person. So but of course, if the theaters do well in the summer, that's great.
Yeah. So Jurassic World comes out on July 2nd. July 11th is Superman, and then Fantastic Four on July 25th. So it is Jurassic, Superman, Fantastic Four.
That is so bad for Jurassic that Superman comes out a week after it. That is, I think Jurassic is in trouble. I mean,
I don't know why.
1 week, the fall off from week 1 to week 2 for Jurassic. Maybe they're just hoping to get a little bit of the run over from people who can't get Superman tickets.
Maybe. Yeah, because I mean, those last 3 movies were horrible, but they all made over $1 billion. So maybe they're hoping no matter where they put it, there is a built-in Jurassic World fan base that will show up for this. We will see. And it's July 4th weekend. So maybe they think, we're just gonna grab it. But I hear you. And no, I don't think anyone's looking forward to Jurassic World. And Superman has gotten some negative reactions as well. And so we'll see how both Superman and Fantastic Four do. As you mentioned, Fantastic Four, a bit of mixed reaction too. So we'll see how the overall box office is. But listen, in 2018, we were getting a new movie every 2 weeks as well for a majority of the summer, the new tentpole films, and they all did well. The ones that were good did well. So it's a good test for all 3 of these movies.
This is a post-COVID world, though. We're not used to it.
That's true.
To this back-to-back releases.
That's a good point. People don't want to leave the house either. Nerds Engaged says support. Thanks, Roxy and John. Thank you, Roxy, for giving the Aerosmith story yesterday.
You're welcome. Thanks for the support. Keep sending it in. We just hit 40. We got a long way to go, guys.
Come on, people. We gotta get 50 more. Can you give me the story in 30 seconds? Did you?
Do you know my dad worked with Aerosmith for a long time?
I know that you've worked with bands. Well, your dad worked for a lot of bands for a long time. So
he helped put Aerosmith back together after they had broken up.
Wow.
He was like the impetus for getting them back together. That's the short version.
In the 1980s, when they came out with Dude Looks Like a Lady and all of that, the explosion from that. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I hope they paid him.
I don't think I would be saying that I would do this director's movie for almost any money if we were doing better. So
I'd have gotten myself paid off. That puts you bastards together. Where's my money?
The reason I talk about Nepo babies so much is I wish I was one. God damn. God damn.
Oh, man, that's great. All right. Future Millionaire says, keep up the good work, Rocha. I'm trying. Thank you. Glad Kristian trusts you enough to helm the ship when he's off. Sup, Roxy. Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah.
Future Millionaire. I love it. Manifest it, babe.
Yeah,
get that bag.
Get that bag. Yeah, exactly. RQMD SMD. Ooh, I got that. Support for Rocha and Roxy and join the show. Thank you.
You want to see something, John?
Sure.
RQMD SMD. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Wow. All right. Yeah, respect. Respect. J-Man 24. The antisocial has become social. LOL. Showing love.
Are you the antisocial, J-Man, or are we the antisocial?
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't know. I'm not.
Thank you for the love.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
It seems nice, so I'll take it.
Fair point. Mark Jason Ali says support for the Dream Team. R&R. Black Doves, I mentioned yesterday, is 8 episodes and is getting a season 2. Have you watched it, Rocha? Yes. The lead outline and I are big Anglophiles. So if it's a British show, we rip through that thing as soon as it drops. So yeah, we ripped through Black Doves in 2 days.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, and I didn't know about it till yesterday. This is the Keira Knightley one?
Yeah. Okay. And I am not a Keira Knightley fan, and I loved it. So
what? Tell me. What's up with you and Keira Knightley?
I mean, those teeth. They're scary. They're a little scary. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Wait, what? I thought you were gonna be like, one time I was interviewing her and she was a nightmare. It's them teeth.
She made a joke about my bump. She made a joke about my bump. Mike Joyce says the new Predator movie comes out the day my brother gets married to his high school sweetheart. Should I skip the wedding / reception to see it in IMAX? No.
I was just going to say the same thing. I wasn't even going to make a joke of it, Rocha. No. Show up for the people you love.
I know. For a movie
is worth that.
I would disown you.
It's also the new Predator movie. It's not even Superman. Like, get over it.
You probably won't even get a ticket. So why bother? Nerds Engaged says, what are your thoughts on attention span? A lot of people take in their content 15 to 30 seconds at a time. How do you compete with it? And what was I talking about?
I think it's very concerning. It's so concerning, John. I mean, after what was it? Quibi didn't work because that was during the pandemic or whatever. Now there's all these new platforms that are popping up that basically do what they did, but they're doing it very successfully. And all these shows that are now 4 to 8 minutes. And people are obsessed with them. And between TikToks and like everything that Snapchats, all the stuff, it's as somebody who is obsessed with television and movies, this is very concerning. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know how to compete with it. If you have a video on social media that has more than 3 seconds average view time, it's considered success.
Really?
That's the goal. 3 seconds. It's like,
wow,
so scary.
Wow, man. Okay. That's amazing. I did not know that, but yeah, I mean, because there's so much to consume now. There's so much media, and now we've got multiple social media platforms, right? Ever since the Twitter stuff happened with Elon, now you've got Blue Sky, you got Threads, you got all this. There's so many Facebook is supposedly dying, but now Zuckerberg's trying to bring it back. So there's all kinds of stuff that distracts you. So yeah, I'm not surprised 15 to 30 seconds. I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. I just make my content. I'm very lucky to have the subscribers that I have and to keep building on building. And so I don't really think about it, but I probably
luck is not the right word.
Yeah, well, all right. Fair points.
Very hardworking.
Yeah, I am hardworking. Yes, but shorts are something that is, to me, right now a mountain, and so I've got to figure out shorts to take advantage of the 15 to 30 seconds, especially with the amount of stuff that Jeff drops on the hot mic. For God's sakes. Handsome Rance is a super chat goddess Roxy hashtag Striarverse.
Let's go.
Nice. Kenya King, please look up Abby's game design. Not a spoiler. Okay. I've seen the game design of Abby. They've compared. I don't know what the big deal is.
I don't know what the laughing face is about. Do you think it's a funny design or what?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Does it look like Caitlin? Michael Hollenbach. What's up, Michael? Catching up on the video, but thank you for having a discussion on Star Wars. Also, John, how do you know Amy Trask? That's awesome. Well, Amy Trask is the former CEO of the Raiders, and she served under Al Davis, and she is my Lady Outlaw's aunt. And I have hung out with Amy quite a few times. I love her. She loves me, and we have great conversations whenever we see each other about the NFL or about the Raiders. So
Did you say that in today's episode?
No, I don't know how people are bringing it up. I don't.
Okay. I was like, I missed that.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Maybe because she's always responding to my social media posts with really sweet stuff. So yeah, Amy's the best. Nice. I love her madly. An incredible woman, hell of an accomplished woman. Dancing Dog 60 says Celtic City just shows how compelling sports is. Roxy, are you watching this on Max?
Oh yeah. I mean, what's better than being a Celtics fan and watching Celtic City?
Look, I hate the Celtics. I've always hated the Celtics, but this is an incredible documentary series. Like,
it's unbelievable.
Incredible.
We've got the finale next week. It's unbelievable. I waited until last week to start binging because I didn't want to have to wait week to week because I just didn't want to.
Right.
Man, I just like tore through this. It's because, and it's honestly, it's not a lot that I didn't know because I'm a diehard Celtics fan. But the way they're telling the stories and the interviews that they're getting and how it's shot and what they decide to talk about and focus on, especially as my favorite player of all time is Bill Russell. So there's just so many flowers for Bill Russell in this, as there should be.
And they get the daughters of Red Auerbach and the daughters of Bill Russell to talk. Bob Cousy's still alive, or at least when they were shooting these interviews.
That's what he said. Cousie was like, I know the only reason you guys want me is because I'm the only one who's still here, but okay, let's go.
I thought his candor was great, but mixing it in with the modern day guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, so smart to compare this. And then really kind of grasping the tragedy of the Boston Celtics franchise with Len Bias and Reggie Lewis, and then what happened with Paul Pierce. That was the episode last week. You're just like, as successful as this franchise is, it's also really snake bit in a lot of situations here. And so, plus bringing in the Boston busing scandals and all of that through the 70s, I thought that was really genius. And they smartly kept Bill Simmons to a limited amount of time. We all know Bill and his fandom, for God's sake. Cool Cash GG says, first of all, Mr. Outlaw Nation, Miss Striar, y'all are awesome. And just to speculate, why do you all think Task is absent in the recent marketing? Oh, Taskmaster. Yeah. Probably, yeah, go ahead.
Well, just question for you, Don. Wasn't Task announced in the chair thing?
In the chair thing. Yes, Taskmaster. Oh, I think they were. Not the actress, though, right? Was Olga Kurylenko? I don't think Olga Kurylenko.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think she was.
Really?
And she wasn't at the premiere in London last
So then maybe because maybe she dies quickly.
Yeah. I think the character dies quickly. I don't think Olga was on that set for one day. I think
so then she's the one who dies and it's going to be quick, and so they're not marketing her much.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people thought it might be Scarlett Johansson under the mask, and it's a reveal that she lived somehow, but no, she clearly dies.
Okay.
Mike Joyce says, I'm excited for Thunderbolts. I hear Florence Pugh is great in it. # Pugh Crew. I can't see why Kristian prefers Julia Roberts to her.
I can't see why this has become such an insane debate. It drives me nuts. Like,
I didn't start it, by the way.
Both gorgeous. Why are we constantly comparing women? It's so weird. Kristian's like, why do you think it's so weird? If I asked you about it, who's hotter, X guy or Y guy, and I was like, yeah, but I wouldn't bring it up every week. I mean, he brings it up every week.
Oh, he does. Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that.
He's going to be like, that's hyperbolic language. I don't bring it up every week. He's brought up at least 10 shows. That's a real statement. At least 10 shows he's referenced that. Okay. Both hot, both dope, both talented. It's fine to have your preference, but why do we keep talking about it?
Okay, that's a fair point. I agree. That's a fair point. Old man Mike says, listen up, jackholes on the internet. Leave Caitlin Deaver alone. She's an actress doing her job. How would you like it if I came to McDonald's and insulted you? Whoa, old man Kalinowski, calm down. Calm down. He would never say that. Mike Joyce, maybe JLD dancing defeats the void. No, Chris Pratt already did that. So I don't think they'll repeat that. Aaron Water says, Roxy, if I buy a Real Reject shirt, UK shop, is there a way for you to sign it? Could I DM you on Insta? Would love to meet you when you come to the UK next.
I have no idea. I don't think you'd be able to buy it on the shop and then I sign it because we don't have them. They're manufactured elsewhere. But feel free to DM Real Rejects, ask about it, and we can run it by Greg. The shipping is so expensive that I don't know that it would be worth it. Shipping to the UK from that, if we have to first send it to us and then I have to sign it and send it to UK, it's going to be like hundreds of dollars. It's so expensive right now to send anything there. So just feel free to ask about it, but you got to be ready for that kashish.
Yeah, bring that money out. Dancing Dog 60, Annie Up opened. You got served to opening dance. Oh, it did?
Oh, really? I don't think I ever saw You Got Served, but Anti Up slaps.
Yeah, agreed. Dancing Dog also says, Uwe Boll is only slightly above porn quality, to be honest. Oof. Hey, don't knock those porn directors. Some of those people.
Is that true, though? Is it like a porno that I just said that I would take money for?
No, it's not. No, he doesn't do porn. They're cheesy, really, really bad action films, usually set in some weird time period. Luke S. says, support for Roxy, but why does she hate Wednesday and The Last of Us? You guys are evil.
Can't help it. I have no taste.
Chris Kraus, Rocha, you and Kristian do the Aslo rep at Florida State. Auditioned for it a few times, got a bucket list theater role. No, I never did it, Chris, because I got into college late. I was 27 when I went back to college. And so once I graduated, I was almost 30. So I went right to LA. I didn't want to spend another 3 years or 2 years in another college. But who knows? Maybe I would have gotten connections or whatever. But anyway, I don't think Kristian did it either. I'm sure Kristian did it. Bucket list theater role? I don't know. Billy Sunday from Chicago. I would love to play Billy Sunday. Right? I can do it. I know the song.
Hedda Gabler.
Oh
my God.
interesting.
I've always wanted to play her.
That's a nice choice. I like that.
Love her. We're such theater nerds. I'm sure people were just like,
unsubscribe. Beer Jim Serenity Moon says, support for the lovely Roxy and John. I loved the 3 episodes from Andor. Watched it this morning in my bed. Oh,
cool. Right. That rocks.
Good way to watch.
Yeah.
Anthony _M72 says, have you tried 4DX at the theater? Thinking of trying? That's the one that moves around, right? 4DX, I think. Or is that the one that's, I think ScreenX is the one that's across 3 screens.
I don't know. I thought it's the one the chairs move, right?
Yes. So that's 4DX. So I did that for Novocaine at a screening, and that was a rough screening. Let me just tell you, because we were getting jerked around left and right. They would spray water on us when somebody got hit with blood. And
was it fun or distracting?
It was distracting by the end. And I certainly had to lay on my back and stretch it out the next day because they jerk you around like crazy. Bobby Jackson says, John, I love that you went from doubting Thunderbolts would ever come out to now anticipating its release. I know, right? What a crazy world.
Isn't it crazy that with new information, we're allowed to change our minds? Bobby rocks. Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby. He also says, support for R&R. Respect and support again. Thank you, Bobby. GoPal's back. GoPal says, Jason Segel said on the commentary that the vampire musical was funny because he put it at the end of a comedy movie. But when he wrote it, he actually thought that would be probably the rest of his career, or the end of his career, maybe he's trying to say.
Or maybe it would take the rest of his career.
Oh, it would take the rest of his career, maybe.
Know.
Oh my God, I love that sequence. Yeah, I would have loved it if he had done just at least a 30-minute one. It would have been great to see. Aaron the Creative, ever since the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, there's been one thing that has bugged me, which is them not holding this reveal till the end of Doomsday. It would have blown our minds. Your thoughts? What do you think?
I think that they think that they need it for marketing to get people excited about something. So I don't think that they were going to be able to hold that. And if they weren't able to hold it, I think it's better that they gave us time to sit with it than announced it closer to it. But I hear you. And in a dream world, do I think that if less things were spoiled, then when we went to the theaters, would we have cooler experiences? Probably.
Yeah, probably. I agree with Roxy. I think if Marvel had been on a high, they could have saved this as a massive reveal. It might have leaked out. It might have been rumored right by the time it happened. But I think if they had been on a high, they'd have had more confidence to hold that reveal. But because they haven't been on a high rate lately, and it's been very mixed, I think they felt this was a way to wake people up. But then again, the reception to it was mixed anyway. So damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, totally.
Lion Main Man says, Thunderbolts looks like the same formulaic stuff we've been getting for the last 15 years. Oh, you've seen mental health and depression and suicidal thoughts in a Marvel movie for 15 years? What movie is that? Let me know what movie that is. I know we got PTSD with Iron Man 3 years ago, but like, I don't think it's a standard thing in Marvel movies.
I wonder, Lion Main Man, if what you mean is a superhero team up motley crew, because there's been a lot of comparisons to like Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, fair.
Okay. And so potentially when you say formulaic, you're worried about it being like team of misfits.
Right.
But from what we've seen from the marketing, I don't feel like this is going to be formulaic and the same as what we've seen in terms of that misfit band. We'll see though.
We'll see. All right, we're at 47 super chats here. We still have 15 minutes, people. So, if you want to keep us on the air, sending in super chats is how to do it. Dancing Dog 60 says Quibi flopped as short form streaming though, right?
Yeah, but it was during the pandemic when people weren't leaving their houses. And that's why I think Quibi really flopped. Yeah. The timing on that was horrific.
Yeah. I had quite a few friends who were excited because they were hosting shows or co-hosting shows on there.
I was on there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah.
It
just kind of didn't work out, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think Maude had her show on there too. There was a bunch of people. And at first I was kind of hesitant about the idea of it, but then it is cool to have those quick bites, not instead of having like long shows, but if you are on the go and you're just looking for something for 10 minutes, 5, whatever. But the fact that it dropped right when none of us could leave our house and we had all the time in the world, that sucked for them.
Yeah.
That sucked.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that COVID thing, man.
That COVID thing, man.
I mean, like, obviously it was terrible that people died and, it was horrible, all of that. But like the other side of it, it really was a nuclear bomb into the entertainment industry. Like we're still recovering from the explosion of that.
Absolutely. And don't know if we ever will fully recover from that. So.
Yeah. I said this in one of the earlier shows, like in 2020, it was like that people are creatures of habit. And the second you accustom them to being able to get the entertainment at home, they're not going to want to come back to the theater in the same numbers as they did before. And sure enough, that's still an issue for some of these movie theaters, that they're not hitting those heights that they did before. And it's a shame. Yeah. Nathan Drake says, Wyatt Russell is great in Overlord.
I didn't see Overlord.
A lot of good young actors in Overlord. It's a really good movie.
Who else is in it?
Let's get to it, because I don't know them all by name, and I don't want to say their name. Oh, I've seen it a couple times. Yeah. Yeah. Jovana Depo is in it. Pilo Asbak is in it, who was one of the villains in Game of Thrones, rather. John Magaro, who we've been seeing now, he was in Past Lives. He was the husband in Past Lives.
Yeah,
he was a part of this thing as well. Dominic Aboy and Joseph Quinn, a young Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, is in this film as well. So yeah, some good young actors being a part of this, along with Wyatt Russell. What else we got? Smithy, Roxy, Rocha, rock on.
Woo!
Just announced Bill Hader will co-write, direct, and potentially star in a Jonestown series for HBO. Is Scorsese out there crying about this? Hader is Jim Jones. Thoughts?
Is this real?
Yeah, it seems like. Yeah, I'm not surprised. What do you think?
You're not surprised about which part? The Bill Hader part, or that they're doing a Jonestown series for HBO?
The Bill Hader part, I'm not surprised by, because I think he's been. I mean, that last season of Barry was like an art house black box theater type of approach to a quote unquote sitcom. And so he has very dramatic, darker tendencies in some of his choices as an actor. Mm-hmm. So him wanting to play Jim Jones, that's not a surprise. And I can kind of see facially, in terms of the chin and the cheeks here, how he can do a little bit of makeup to resemble Jim Jones.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Are you watching The Studio?
Yes, I finished the whole thing. It's a really good.
You understood this Scorsese reference.
Yeah. From the first episode.
Yeah. I need to know more about this. I tend to gravitate towards these kinds of properties, which is unfortunate because I hear from psychologists that people who gravitate towards things like this are mentally unwell.
What? You mean the cult stuff?
Yeah, cult stuff, true crime stuff. But I do, like whether it's docs or scripted, I'm so intrigued. So
did you see the new Oklahoma City bomber thing on Netflix, the documentary that's on?
No.
Highly, highly recommend it. Okay. It's an hour and a half, and it's an incredible breakdown of what happened that day in 95, I think it was. Philly G says support. Thank you, Philly. Nathan Drake says Jane Fonda, Idris Elba, never forget. I don't know what that means.
Idris Elba. Are you just naming people I love?
I don't know. Michael Baldwin, I didn't play the game. I had no idea what was going to happen. Don't let me catch Abby on these streets because there's going to be problems.
I hear you.
Yeah, where are you at with Abby right now? Like, you understand why she did what she did because of the death of her dad.
Hater, killer. It's on site. It's on site.
Really?
I am not okay. Like, Delulu. But yeah, of course, on paper, I do fully understand. And if you did that to me, I'd do what Abby did to you.
Right.
And yet, she took Joel. So bang, 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 bang. Done. All you. Done.
Wow.
Dead. Done. Why? Where are you?
Even the kids who didn't maybe want to participate in it were really
uncomfortable. They did not stop her.
Wow.
Done. Bang, bang, bang. Done.
Roxy with brutal justice there, man. That's Boston justice for you, I guess.
Do you love Abby?
No, I don't love Abby, and I don't think you're supposed to. So and I don't like the way she relished killing him, and that's why I tweeted the quote out where he said, "Just shut the fuck up and get on with it already." I thought that was a great thing for him to say, as like, you're young, so you think you can like enjoy this or lord this over me. Fuck you, just do it, And I love that as an energy from Joel. So for me, that's what bothered me. But again, I reserve judgment to see where this all leads, because we know Joel wasn't any kind of angel. So,
I'm not saying he was, but he was ours.
If Jesse and Joel were hanging off a cliff, who do you save?
Oh, Joel.
You would save Joel over Jesse.
A crush goes away.
Oh, I see. Oh, this is deep. The Joel thing is
forever. Deep. But Jesse's so cute. So cute.
That's hilarious. Y'all can get high in Eugene's shop. I don't know if you.
That's what I'm saying. Paint the picture. Paint the scene.
Oh man, Gopal says Siegel thought the rest of his career would be puppet musicals like Dracula after F&G, and Undeclared didn't even get whole seasons, and How I Met Your Mother. Oh,
huh.
These things we talk ourselves into.
Yeah.
Doug says the Asylum produces films like Mega Python versus Gatoroid and blatant ripoffs like the Transmorphers. Would you ever act in films like those? No, I would never do it.
What's my answer going to be, John?
Yes, it's going to be yes for Roxy.
How much money, honey? Whee! I don't want to be a sellout, but sometimes in life, we have to make money in order to provide.
That's true. That's why I'm very thankful that I have multiple revenue streams, so I can be selective on the things I want to do.
Yes.
And something like this, I don't need, no. I mean, because I don't
recall. Of you. Me, on the other hand, losing jobs daily, need the money. Essentially, it's like asking me, do you want to provide a great life for Grammy and do this movie or no?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly the difference. Yeah, I don't have anyone depending on me to.
They could ask me to pick my nose and flick my boogers in the movie, and I'd say, "What's the paycheck? What's the paycheck?"
Wow. All right, fair point.
Not forever. At some point, I'll be above it all, but not right now.
You will. That London movie will get you closer for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's giving me a little buzz right now, which is cool.
That's good.
A good one. Yeah, and that movie's actually great. So luckily, I didn't have to pick my nose and flick my boogers.
Exactly, Roxy. You're not that actress. There are actresses or actors at that level. You're not there. Luke S says, "Are you streaming later on Roxy? Also, what do you think? What do you both think of Sinners? I enjoyed it, but it's barely been reviewed here in the UK." Yeah, I love.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
John, I've been answering every question first like such a bitch.
I don't care. Go. I don't have any.
Thank you for asking, as if I was hosting the show today. What a raging loony.
I talk too much anyway. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, you don't. I've been taking the World Girl spot streaming Wednesday nights, but tonight I'm going to a premiere of a movie. So I told everybody early that I was not going to. I'm going to stream tomorrow night instead.
Nice. What are you going to see?
That's a good question. Has there ever been a premiere of a movie that you can't say what you're seeing?
No, I don't think so. Unless you're being asked to go to a secret screening, that's different. A premiere is going to get press.
Then I think I can. I'm seeing a movie called Mob Cops. It's with David Arquette and Kevin Connolly, and it's
nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to. I'm very excited about it. So.
Are you covering it or just going to see it?
No, I'm going, but I paused for a second because I was like, I haven't heard if this is announced, but it's a premiere, so I must be able to talk about it. I was invited by a friend, so
they're probably happy that you're announcing it here on the show. So
yeah, you just know when you get nervous about something because you're just like, can I say this out loud? And then you're like, nobody cares. Of course, I can say this out loud. It's a premiere of a movie. I'm going to post about it. So
right on. Well, if you don't, I will be. I know Roxy's not live streaming tonight, but if you want to catch me and Winston coming back with Spill the Tequila tonight, we are live streaming at 4 p.m. PT tonight. That will now be a weekly show. Me and Winston A. Marshall hanging out talking about the things going on in the world of entertainment and outside the world of entertainment. Like
how long's your show?
Hour and a half, 90 minutes.
Lead right into mine. I'm 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. So
perfect.
They got to do it back to back. Watch go pee, make food, watch me.
It's important. I love how you think it was peeing. Dancing Dog 6 says, wonder why a network hasn't revived Second City TV Second City still exists and trains new talent all the time. Would be a nice Netflix show. Yeah, maybe, because I mean they've got SNL going on in the UK now, Roxy. So what about bringing back another type of show like that?
Yeah, and I always find myself loving things like this. Even like Whose Line Is It Anyway or whatever. Just so this would be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody would think this was a no-brainer. Would be fun.
Yeah. All right, we're getting close to. I know you got to go soon here. RQMD SMD. Yes.
Yeah.
Rocha there. Aaron the Creative says, what number at the box office does Superman hit that makes them nervous? I'm thinking Black Adam number 350 to 450.
They're saying like how low could it be that DC would be afraid?
Yeah.
I think if this does less than 500, they're scared crapless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, even Brave New World got over 400, I think, eventually.
Yeah. If this is less than 500, scared crapless, I don't think that they're going to be happy if it's less than 600 or even 700. So,
yeah, that's what I would say. 750, anything below 750, I think they'd be nervous. Anything above 750 is gravy for them, and they know they're on the right track. Jake S says, I just saw Sinners. It was great, but when the credits started, the entire theater got up and left, so I sat there alone in the theater for the ending. LOL, was it a mistake to end it that way? Well, we're not going to reveal the ending here because people still seeing the movie, but I liked that ending, and I like the movie a lot, and I'm sure the hot mic is going to be real hot with Jeff and I battling over the film.
You guys are you're such a good duo. Such a good duo. I think you know this, but he loves you.
Really? He never tells me. He never tells me.
Is that true?
Yes, never says
we had a whole phone call about you this week.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very nice.
He really respects you. And he respects very few people. So.
Not enough to mention me as one of the critics he reads or listens to about movies, but we'll discuss that on Thursday.
Yeah, I saw that. He shut out 3 people. I was like, ooh, the tea. I love this movie also, and I loved this ending. I loved it. The person I was with was kind of thrown by the ending, but I was like, I just thought it was a perfect, smart way to do it.
Yeah. It was great because I went to see a screening of it, and then like people were streaming out of the theater, and then as soon as that credit came, people's kind of running back into the theater, sitting there in the walkways to watch it. So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Alex Ruelas says, you can either be the good guy or the guy who saves the world. You can't be both. Cecil in Invincible, Joel chose to be the good guy. Oh, yeah, right. Fair, because he could have let Ellie die last season at the end of last season, but didn't.
But I think this is also about the fact that he could have let Abby go in the snow, and he saves her.
Right. He even said that. I saved your life. Why would you do this? Right. Exactly. It made it all the more.
That's why we pissed at Abby. Get on my level.
Yes, I hear you. Dancing Dog says, how the hell was Steven Seagal a movie star? Well, it's the 80s. We were doing a lot of cocaine in the 80s. And
it's such a funny question.
This is what we were into, man. I mean, Van Damme, Jeff Speakman, Chuck Norris. I mean, these are not necessarily, great actors. Although Van Damme and JCVD is one of the most transcendent performances ever. But like
sometimes just being entertaining is enough.
Yeah, that's true. Look at Adam Sandler.
No.
I'm saying he's entertaining.
And talented and above and beyond. Keep my hero's name out of your mouth. Put some respect on it.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just want him to stop doing grown-ups and crap like that. Stop doing that. Do better stuff. Nathan Drex says, I was referencing Schmodown controversies. Oh, Idris Elba? Was that one you were involved in?
Oh, yeah. Elba.
Oh.
That was it? I think it was, maybe it was in Draco who spelled it Elba instead of Alba. And
right. When you were managing them.
And then it became, after that, they were like, if the last name is a different last name, but they gave us the point for that, I think.
Yeah. I did not get the point for Jane Fonda, and I still think I should have gotten.
What was the Jane Fonda thing?
Well, it was me against your boy Jeff and the Patriots. Jeff and me and Nost against Jeff and JT, and we spun westerns, or they spun westerns. And the question was, who plays this teacher in Cap? I think Cat Ballou was the name of the film. And I'd written Lee Marvin down initially, and then I was like, oh, no, it's Jane Fonda. And we had only one repeat left because Matt had used both repeats in the first 2 rounds. So I started scratching it, and I started to write Jane Fonda, but because I get so hyper emotional, I was just like, and because there was only 3 seconds left. And what was up there was squiggly lines, but like neither one of the 2 guys got it right. And I knew it was Jane Fonda. So I said Jane Fonda and lifted it up. But they took Kristian took the points away, didn't give me the points because I didn't write it legibly on the board.
So could you see could you see Jane and not Fonda, or you couldn't see any of it?
You could really, I mean, you could maybe make the J out, maybe, but yeah, it was
that's tough. That's so tough.
Yeah. So it was an embarrassing moment for sure. All right. Is that everything? Both Under Siege movies were watchable. Yes, agreed. Those were good films. The first one was definitely good. All right, there we go. I know you got to go. So thank you all.
One more, John.
What? No, one more? We got one more? Oh, sorry. All right. What do we got?
Don't mess with Go Pal.
He says, remember when the kid from Step by Step was in all the Kickboxer sequels? Yeah, Sasha Mitchell. But then it came out he was kickboxing inappropriate people.
Oh. I don't remember that.
I do. Yeah, Sasha got in a lot of trouble for some of the stuff he was doing back then.
Oh boy.
So. Yeah, which is why you don't see that sitcom coming back like you do the other ones like Malcolm in the Middle and what have you. All right, that's all of it. I think that's it. We got to go. All right, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it, Madly. We didn't get to 85, but, we got to 60, which I think is okay. Roxy Striar, please let people know where they can find you and everything that's going on here.
You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar, and I'll be streaming on my channel tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Go and find her there tomorrow night. Thank you, Roxy. Much love to you. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Rocha. Much love to you. I'll see you soon.
Bye. All right, there you go. That was the great Roxy Striar hanging out with us here on the Kristian Harloff Show. Very honored to share the screen with her because I rarely get to see Rox now. And so it's so much fun to get a chance to have a little East Coast swagger on this Kristian Harloff Show. I think is everybody on the show East Coast? I don't know I think Coy's from Boston. I don't know if Winston, I forget where Winston's from. Maybe he's South, right? He's Texas. So we're pretty much East Coast type of approach to the show here, but great to see Roxy and I going back and forth about stuff. So I hope you enjoyed our answers. Hope you enjoyed the show, enjoyed all the comments. Make sure you leave the comments down below on all the things we talked about. Keep it civil, keep it respectful. Try to be nice as much as you can and let us know your thoughts on all that. What are your thoughts on Thunderbolts? What are your thoughts on Last of Us? What are your thoughts on our big conversation on Andor, which blossomed into what I thought was just going to be a 5 to 10 minute conversation in the 30 minutes? What did you think of all that? And don't forget about Stitch Fix as well. And don't forget to keep watching the Kristian Harloff Show tomorrow. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky and Threads, and my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. As I said, going live at 4 p.m. PT with me and Winston A. Marshall. Got some new graphics, got some new opening videos. Gonna be a lot of fun, and we're gonna talk about some real shit. Let me just say that now. So it ain't gonna be just the regular entertainment stuff. We're gonna get in deep on some stuff, especially around Sinners, because apparently there's some drama going on between the Latin American community and the Black community around this movie. I had no idea about it. We're gonna talk about it at 4 p.m. PT on my channel, The Outlaw Nation. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. I love you madly, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the Kristian Harloff Show. Peace, everybody.